The 2024 diplomacy season is here, and the competition is hotter than the kitchen at a Florida Golden Corral during the 4 o'clock dinner rush. We've got new rules, new events, and a new set of standings so fresh they're giving off full hormonal teenager with an attitude vibes. Glue in your dentures and stock up on Stridex because this is the DBNI Countdown Show.
Welcome to the first DBNI Countdown Show of the 2025 season. I'm your host, Brian Pravel, and with me is my ever-cautious co-host, Admiral Zachary Moore, who recently sailed to victory at the regatta. Zach, I have to ask you, was it you I overheard yelling, "It's a trap," or was that your allies?
Keep talking like that, I'm gonna have to make you walk the plank, all right, matey?
Aye, Captain.
Well, Brian, the 2024 season has kicked off in style. We've got new rules to discuss, fresh standings, and a whole new lineup of challengers who will either inspire us all or crash and burn as the world watches.
The DBN Invitational is a year-long points competition between players around the globe from face-to-face, virtual face-to-face, and extended deadline communities, culminating in an invitational tournament in February to determine the DBN Diplomat of the Year. Before we jump into the standings, let's break down some of the big rule changes for this season. Biggest change? Event classifications. We've streamlined things, and now events are categorized as DBN 60, worth 60 points, DBN 80, worth 80 points, or major events worth 100 points. It simplifies the scoring system, makes everything cleaner, and keeps things consistent.
That's right, Brian. DBN 60 events meet the minimum qualifications. DBN 80 events need at least 9 boards and 21 unique players, and major events are the heavy hitters, the cream of the crop. We're talking about the prestige events, like the World DipCon, the North American DipCon, European DipCon, Virtual Diplomacy Championship, the Online Diplomacy Championship, and the Virtual Diplomacy League.
Yeah, and just like Brandon Fogel ditching his allies the moment he reaches the mid-game, we've also ditched the old classification system that separated face-to-face, virtual, and extended deadline formats. Now it's all about the event's prestige and scope, making it easier to understand and easier to calculate.
But very unlike Brandon Fogel, competitive integrity and clarity are our top priorities this season. If you want to dive deeper into the full rules, head on over to our website at diplobn.com and check out the invitational page for all the details.
All right, now that we've covered the rules, let's talk about the big question on everyone's mind: how to qualify for the DBNI. One of the key ways to secure your spot is through auto qualifications, and this season the path is clearer than ever.
That's right, Brian. It couldn't possibly get clearer. Players automatically qualify for the DBNI by winning a major event. These are the pinnacle of diplomacy tournaments, the kind that draw the best players from around the globe. If you're at the top of one of these, you've punched your golden ticket straight to the DBNI.
But if you don't win a major, don't worry. Players can still qualify by accumulating points from their placement at DBN 60 and DBN 80 events. Higher you finish, more points you rack up, and those points can quickly add up, keeping you in the race for those coveted DBNI points.
Well, let's take a look at the winners of the DBNI qualifying events from the spring of the 2024 season. Leading the pack is Katie Gray, the first player to punch her ticket to the DBNI by winning the prestigious North American DipCon at Cascadia. You guessed it, a major event.
Katie also topped at SkyCon, making her one of only 2 players this season to score multiple wins alongside the formidable Jamal Blackerley. These are 2 players to watch as the season progresses. Coming on screen, we see the winners from the summer qualifying events. The big event to highlight here is the 2024 World DipCon, won by 2-time World DipCon champion and Virtual Diplomacy champion Nicolas Sahuguet.
I got one more on that list I wouldn't mind highlighting, Brian, but it's time to look ahead. Here's a quick preview of the upcoming fall events. While we won't know which of these will qualify until their final standings are in, all eyes are on the European DipCon, which has not happened yet, and Asia Pacific DipCon. two major events that could shape the rest of the season.
And coming up, we see on screen now winter events. We're watching closely with the Virtual Diplomacy Championship and the Virtual Diplomacy League, both major events, sure to have a huge impact on the standings. We're also keeping an eye on the Olympus Season 3 tournament, which may carry over into next season depending on its pace. Now, with all that said, let's dive into the standings.
What a great time to be a diplomacy fan, Brian. We are tracking 30 events so far, and for the first time in DBN history, the fall is looking even busier than the summer. With all this action, every player is fighting tooth and nail for those precious final qualifying positions.
Only 6 of those 30 events come with automatic qualifications, leaving the remaining 22 potential spots up for grabs. So with everything on the line, Zach, let's dive into those standings.
And let's start at the tippy top, where everything is coming up gray after KT taped up the top spot, flexing her diplomacy muscles with a North American Championship, and then cooling down with a relaxing victory at lovely SkyCon over the summer.
Second place goes to Jamal Blackerley, the 2023 season face-to-face and virtual diplomacy champion. This year he's back at it with wins at Melbourne and the Cane Toad Classic. If anyone's looking for a repeat, Jamal's the one to watch.
Well, Karthik Kanath will Cialis in February after commanding the room with his big Dixie energy and drawing everyone's attention down under as he firmed up his reputation for well over 4 excruciating hours at the Hung Parliament Classic.
In fourth place, we've got the mighty Mustelid from Michigan, Ben Kelman. He spent previous seasons hovering at the bottom of the standings, but this year must have eaten his breakfast cereal because his standings aren't just good, they're great.
And rookie phenom Justin Lohr has leapt into a legendary status in the top 7 with some impressive showings, including the VWDC Summer Classic and the rare solo in the Virtual Diplomacy League. He's the kind of player who kind of lurks in the shadows until, bam, he's taken half the board. Watch out for Justin's next move.
Two-time World DipCon champion and former Virtual Diplomacy champion, go ahead, just call him Professor Nicolas Sahuge. His recent win at World DipCon in Milan just cements his place as one of the game's all-time greats.
And Bradley Cooper Grace has the virtual crowd going gaga with his sizzling performances at Summer Classic and Tour of Britain. Brian will either look up to see that a star is born in February, or he'll be sadly paging through his Silver Linings playbook, wondering where it all went wrong.
And on to places 8 to 14, Tim Crosby isn't just playing to win, he's playing to make a statement. With consistently strong performances in smaller events, he's knocking on the door of the top 7.
Next up, we've got who else but Peter McNamara, regarded by some as the greatest diplomacy player of all time. He's the only player to win 2 Diplomacy Broadcast Network Invitational events, arguably the toughest diplomacy tournament in the world. With a record like that, it's no wonder he's climbing the standings once again. Going for 3, Brian.
Hot or not, this time we're the ones deciding, and Deadline News' harshest critic Jordan Connors is definitely coming in hot. He's been quietly expanding his empire, leaving a trail of conquered extended deadline boards behind him. The only thing left for him to claim, the top spot.
And in 11th place, the only place with 2 number 1s, we have the incomparable, the irreplaceable, the handsome, the divine, the worshipped, the loved, Zachary Moore. Known for his unparalleled diplomacy prowess, his trustworthiness, his tender touch, his silky smooth, honey-dripped words, Zach has been turning heads on and off the board with his style and grace. Honestly, is there anything this guy can't do? Answer, and I'm just reading the teleprompter here.
Yeah, modesty for one. In 12th place, we've got Johnny Gillum channeling 2000s era Blink-182 energy into diplomacy. Fun, a little chaotic, always unpredictable. His go big or go home style has made him a fan favorite. You never know what bold move he'll pull off next.
And in 13th place, everyone at the Hung Parliament Handicap was wondering, Lena who? As she made a triumphant return to the diplomacy scene after a 20-year hiatus. Folks, last time she played, Brandon Fogel had hair and Brian Prabel hadn't even finished his first 8th place. Now, Brian, you might wonder, can you really call someone a rookie if they played 2 decades ago? Well, let me tell you, she's never played a DBNI event in the past, so she's a rookie in my book. Keep an eye out for Lena, because she's proving that learned skills die hard.
In 14th place, we've got Stephen Hogue, a veteran player who's been playing DBN events since the beginning, but is only now finding real success. Hailing from Kentucky with a beard as strong as his personality, Stephen's finally making his mark this season. It's taken some time, but like fine bourbon, he's getting better with age.
Moving on now to places 15 through 21, and in 15th place it is aerospace engineer Matt Krill, who has been flying high without a hitch. Don't worry, Boeing assures us a hitch is not necessary for safe aviation. This season, Matt's game has been nothing but smooth takeoffs and perfect landings, proving he's got the right parts to succeed in diplomacy.
In 16th place, we've got Riaz Varani. This tactical titan's tide-turning talent, top-tier timing, thoughtful tactics, and tender-hearted touch thrust this Teddy to a true table threat, the toast of the town.
That 'twas truly terrific testimony, Brian. And in 17th place, we've got Micah Blom, who impressed during the 2023 season, qualifying as an alternate to this very event. This year, she's kept that momentum going, finding more consistent success and climbing her way up the rankings. Micah's showing that she's no longer just filling in, she's standing out, and she's here to compete at the highest level.
In 18th place, John Ben is leading his own kind of revolution with a 67% top share and first place at the Boston Massacre. He may not have dumped tea into the harbor, but he certainly stirred the pot this season. If you're not careful, John will turn your game upside down.
Coming in at 19th, it's another rookie. Max Wanji-Rowe Banks is running the show as the Chief Vibes Officer of the Canberra Club, bringing the kind of laid-back leadership only a man with 4 names could pull off. Cool under pressure and cutthroat on the board, Max's game is as chill as it gets in Australia's political capital.
In 20th place, we've got Keith Worstel, a rare, humble player in a community full of braggadocious alpha nerds. Keith won't tell you how good he is, so we'll do it for him. With consistent top quarter finishes at some of diplomacy's toughest events, he's proving to be quiet the force this season. Unlike my co-host, who's always been happy to remind us all about how great he is, Keith lets his game do the talking. And believe me, it's speaking loud and clear.
In 21st place, Marcus Lone has shown impressive consistency across multiple formats. Tough to do these days, but with the standings getting tighter, consistently alone may not be enough. A big win would boost Marcus' score and solidify his spot in this year's DBNI. With plenty of events still ahead, this could be the moment for him to make his move.
And here are your last players to make the cut, 22 to 28. David Miller doesn't play often, but when he does, he pedals his way to the top. With the steady climb in the standings, this adventure-loving triathlete's proven he knows how to navigate both tough trails and tough boards.
At 23rd, face-to-face veteran Randy laying down the law. Rince Hurt has been enforcing his will across the board, leaving the competition pleading for mercy. He'll need a few more events to present his case to the jury of his peers in the DBNI.
Next up, we've got Greg Ewok Matthews. Sure, he might look cute and harmless sitting back in 24th place, but underestimate him at your own peril. His extended deadline play is nothing short of a rebellion in the making.
Now, Brian, here on Countdown, we always say, and have always said, every center counts. And once again, we're seeing just how true that is. We have got a tie for 25th place between two diplomacy titans, David Hood and Tanya Gill. Now, as you know, our tie-breaking rules are clear. We first look at the largest number of placement points for a single qualifying event, and they're tied. Then we move to top share percentage, and they're still tied. That leaves us with only one option, Bryan, a public coin toss live on the DBNI Countdown Show.
That's right, Zach. We're doing this old school. I have my school alma mater button. Heads, David Hood takes 25th place. Tails, it's Tanya Gill. Let's do this. And it is heads.
Rigged. Rigged. Sound off in the comment section if that was rigged.
25th place. Go ahead, Zach.
I can't make heads nor tails of this tie-breaking procedure, Bryan. In 25th and or 26th place, 25th place, we've got David Hood, the Walter Cronkite of the diplomacy hobby. As the host of DBN's Deadline News, David has seen it all and reported on it all. You don't just play against David, you play against decades of diplomacy history.
And in 26th place, we've got Tanya Gill, one of the top players in diplomacy when she plays. With a 67% top share in her one event, she's proven she's a force to be reckoned with. She might not qualify for the DBNI with just this score, but if she enters another event, well, everyone better watch out.
In 27th place, we've got Jelte Kuiper, the 2023 European Diplomacy Champion. Jelte's been consistently at the top of his game, and in the immortal words of Jeff Goldblum, talent finds a way. With the way Jelte's been playing, it is only a matter of time before his talent finds a way. Or will this season get away?
Good question, Zach. In 28th place, we've got Wes Ketchum, who's been researching every angle to keep his spot in the top 28. He's ready to catch up and secure his spot before the season ends.
Well, it is time for my favorite part of the show, Bryan. A look at the players on the wrong side of the bubble. Places 29 through 35, we have Brandon Dix, Dave Maletsky, Dominic Stevens, Ed Sullivan, Jason Bennett, Chris Brand, and Hunter Catcher.
And here are places 36 to 42, Christian Brown, Ian Rednick, Harry Fulton, Josh Ostrowski, Ken Gordon, Peter Yergin, and Noam Brown.
What a season it has been so far with the standings this close. We had a tie, Bryan, and the fall schedule packed. Every move, every stab, every board top, every point matters. We've got some familiar faces at the top, and we've got some familiar faces prowling, crouching right below in the bubble. And we got some new faces as well, Bryan, top to bottom. The best news is the season is far from over, and there's still time to fit in some major events. Those in the top 28 will have to keep pushing if they want to secure their spot. But enough about the top dogs, Bryan. Seriously, who needs another rerun of Everybody Loves Katie, The Blackerly Show, or worst of all, Leave It to Peter? It's like watching a sitcom that refuses to end its final season, Bryan. We get it. You're great at diplomacy. Yawn. Move along. Out of my way. The real excitement is in the fresh faces, the new blood, still hungry to make their mark, the players who are fighting their way up instead of just resting on their laurels. Bryan, you know what that means. It's time for Rookie Watch.
And raising awareness about the game of diplomacy and growing the hobby are the primary goals of the Diplomacy Broadcast Network. At the end of the season, the first season player with the highest score will receive the Eddie Burson Rookie of the Year award.
Starting from the bottom of our chart, Bryan, in 7th place, we've got Fabian Straub sitting at 29.3 points. His best performance was impressive. It was a 4th place finish at the World DipCon in Milan, placing just above defending world champion Jamal Blockerly. No small feat.
There's a lot of talent at that event. In sixth place, we've got a tie. Josh Ostrowski has 32 points on the strength of his third place finish at the largest extended deadline event of the season so far, Olympus Season 2.
And the other half of our tie for sixth is Harry Fulton, a member of the up-and-coming Canberra crew with a strong 50% top share at the Hung Parliament Handicap. Harry's shown that he can compete at the highest level.
And coming in at fourth is our rookie watch with 43 points is New Zealand's Dominic Stevens, who found his way into our rookie top 7 with an impressive second place finish at the Cane Toad Classic.
In third place, we've got Max Banks, 59.12 points. Max's best showing this season is his second place finish at the Hung Parliament Handicap. A lot of talent coming out of that event.
And in second place with 80 points, Lena Hu came back after a 20-year break and hasn't missed a beat. Her first place finish at the Hung Parliament Handicap proves she's still got what it takes and places her in excellent position for a late season run to become 2024 Season Rookie of the Year.
And in first place with 116.84 points and a solo in his back pocket, who else? Justin Lohr leads the rookie pack thanks to his commanding performance in the Virtual Diplomacy League. Want to make waves as a rookie? Simple, Brian. Just dominate Diplomacy's most prestigious virtual league. And Justin Lohr bonus points has got the Los Angeles Legionnaires in-person face-to-face Diplomacy Club off and running. Believe got their first two-board event going in LA. Love to see him making progress in Southern California, bringing diplomacy to the West Coast.
Yeah, and a big congratulations to all of our rookies. New players are the lifeblood of this hobby. We've seen plenty of past rookies rise to the top. We're excited to see where this new generation will take us.
You know, Brian, these rookies are bringing some serious energy to the board. The next wave of diplomacy greatness is already on the rise. Makes you wonder how long the old stalwarts like you and I can keep up.
It's may not be too long, but that's fine by me. We'll find out, though, at some of these upcoming events. We are halfway through the 2024 season. There's no sign of slowing down. For the first time ever, we have more events scheduled for the fall than in the summer. Let's take a look at some of those right now.
Oh, keep your eye out for the Diplo Strats Gauntlet number 2 coming to Discord September 21st. It is a stacked field and sure to have some good action.
And the National Diplomacy Masters at the World Series of Board Gaming in Las Vegas will be September 23rd to 25th.
The UK National Diplomacy Championship in Warrington is going down the week after September 27th through 29th.
And Weaselmoot in Chicago, USA will be October 5th through 6th. I'm the tournament organizer for that event, and several of the people that we've already talked about on this broadcast will be there. Hope to see you there as well.
The Asia Pacific Diplomacy Championship in Melbourne, Australia, October 12 through 13. Always an excellent event down in Melbourne.
And in Dresden, Germany, we've got Hexstacken, October 12th through 13th.
The Carnage Gaming Convention in Killington, Vermont, November 1st through 3rd. Put on your best costume and scare the heck out of your allies.
And the Canberra Open in Canberra, Australia, November 1 through 3.
The Dutch Diplomacy Championship in Groningen, Netherlands. That same weekend, November 2 through 3. We have 3 tournaments in one weekend. Look at that.
And a couple of the upcoming ongoing events. Olympus Season 3 Extended Deadline Tournament just kicked off on our most recent edition of League Night. We just covered the Olympus Season 2 Championship game and Championship qualifying. Really, really high quality play in that league. Encourage you to follow along if that's something you're interested in. Nexus Press League, you can find that on Discord. That is ongoing. 7 Years War, Snake Pit, Tour of Britain, and Virtual Diplomacy League, all being played online, being organized on Discord. You can find a full list of upcoming events on our website.
Oof, well, Bryan, the competition is fierce, and with so many yet to come, we are bound to see some real shakeups in the standings, whether you're a seasoned vet or one of our rising rookies. There's no room to coast. Every point, every move, every negotiation matters, so buckle up, folks. It's going to be one wild ride to the DBNI, and we'll see you next time on the Countdown Show.
And thank you all for watching the DBNI Countdown Show. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post on this video or contact us via email at info@diplobn.com. If you enjoyed the show, please like the video, click the subscribe button, and tell us your thoughts or make your own predictions in the comments section below. This helps YouTube prioritize these videos and might help someone else new discover the game that we enjoy so much. Until next time, stay safe and stab well. Zach, I have to ask, was it you I overheard yelling, "It's a trap," or was that your allies?
Keep talking like that, Bryan. I'll make you walk the plank.
Well,
Oh,
sorry,
that's my bad. I paused. That's mine.
Zach, I have to ask you, was it you I overheard yelling, "It's a trap," or was that your allies?
Keep talking like that, Bryan. I'm going to make you walk the plank. All right, buddy? That's me again. I don't know why I keep waiting. That's all right. I want to call you matey anyways next time.
All right, we'll do matey. In 28th place, our final spot in this... in 12th place, we've got Johnny Gillum channeling 2000s era Blink 182.
Record scratch. Need some of that Hogue bourbon. Ooh.
We did it.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.